Okay, the Michael Graham event is over, and I'm speaking to Paul Ferro. Now, Paul, you were on one of the panels.
Yes.
And you said something that made my social conservative heart go pitter-patter concerning abortion and fighting back. Can you repeat for our audience what you said in general?
Well, you know, my general point was that social conservatives have a place in the Republican Party, and that, you know, we shouldn't be the pariahs of the party. That in the last, Michael Graham pointed out that since 2000, the Republican Party in statewide elections has been 1 for 74. And I pointed out that all 74 of those candidates were pro-choice. And the one that won, Mitt Romney, had an issue in his campaign where the Democratic, his Democratic opponent, Shannon O'Brien, in a debate, under questioning by Tim Russert, couldn't bring herself to say that a 16-year-old having an abortion was a bad idea. And I think that made a major impact in the election. And further, that often, look at the Leah Cole race up in Peabody that was a victory yesterday. That was a great cooperation between social conservatives and libertarian conservatives to help elect a new Republican state rep.
Now,
you know, Republican social conservatives aren't looking for it to be the primary issue of any campaign, but they are looking for something to bring them into the fold. Like Scott Brown, we have a term, Scott Brown for life, that although Scott Brown is pro-choice, on issues that groups like Massachusetts for Life want to talk about with a United States Senator, he's willing to listen, but often agree with parental consent laws, laws against crossing state lines, not allowing a 16-year-old or 17-year-old to have an abortion, or a minor below 16 to have an abortion without parental consent, and incremental things that have widespread popular support.
Now, to what degree is it, I mean, when I look at it, I keep saying to myself, you know, if you act like the word Republican is a dirty word, that's not how you sell a party or a candidate to somebody. To what degree do the Republicans have to just own their brand and say, hey, this is a great brand?
I think we have to stop being afraid of being Republican. This state has been run by the Democratic Party longer than the Castros have run Cuba. And so everything that has occurred in the state is because of the Democratic public policy position. So everything that's wrong with this state is a result of Democratic Party public policy, and we need to start pointing that out. And the Democratic Party has had this weird success in blaming governors like Romney and Cellucci and Weld and Jane Swift for problems when the Democratic legislature had overwhelming majorities, and they could pass pretty much anything they wanted. So we don't have a Republican governor in office now, so they can't sit there and say, well, you know, Mitt Romney's to blame from 7 years ago. Deval Patrick has been in office for 7 years. He's had a chance to implement his public policy agenda, and the issues that have occurred, including, for example, the gutting of Romney Care. The Romney Care that Mitt Romney signed is not the universal health care law that's in effect right now. They gutted it and made it worse. We need to talk about how the Democratic Party made that law worse and is bankrupting our state.
And is it a coincidence that I was born when John Kennedy was president? When he was elected, Massachusetts had 16 electoral votes. Now we have 11. Is it a question of social conservatives like me telling our sons and daughters, leave?
Yes, it is. It's the idea that Massachusetts is an incredibly difficult place to create a business, to raise an incredibly expensive place to raise a family to a large degree. I think a lot of Bay Staters who have moved to the Sun Belt are shocked by how much farther their dollars go when you have a lower cost of living in places like right-to-work states and low-tax environments where businesses want to grow, and so they have a strong tax base. And you know, one of the reasons that the state of New Hampshire stayed so Republican for so long is because Massachusetts Republicans fled north. They could go. They had an option, and you heard Rick Green, who ran for party chairman, who has a very successful online auto parts business, that he's 2 miles from the New Hampshire border, and his attorneys and and tax lawyers are telling him to move to New Hampshire, and he doesn't want to. He wants to try to, he thinks this is a great place to live, and it still is, but it could be better, and we're losing the generations that want to stay here if we don't make it better.
Now, where can people find you online, or do you have an online presence?
I do. I'm one of the editors at redmaskgroup.com. As I pointed out today, I was the first editor before Rob came along, and I'm also at paulferro.com. That's Ferro.
Hey, Paul Ferro, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. You have a great